Give me another example of sexism.
Donald Trump feeling cavalier about talking about grabbing women inappropriately.
But he did it as locker room talk, and that most men have done that.
And
you never had that conversation?
Oh yes, yes. Let me start off by saying
you have had that same conversation, right?
I haven't had that conversation.
But you have talked about what you would like to do to women in the privacy of men, when just you and other men around. In your lifetime, you have talked about sexually what you like to do to women, right?
I want to take that a different direction because
give me an answer to that first, and then you can take it in another direction. In your lifetime, you have had that conversation with other guys.
I've been raised in a sexist society, so of course I've been handed a whole set of things that I'm supposed to
Give me a yes or no
do.
first. You have had that conversation, right?
If I understand what you're talking about, yes.
You have had it. And so does that make you a sexist?
Of course.
Really? And
how could you be raised in the United States and not be a sexist?
I'm not a sexist, whatever that is. So it wasn't your sexual desires for women, or it wasn't your lust for women that did it. It wasn't the emotions, the mind and the emotion that you felt. Somebody else taught you to do that.
I think sexism comes in with the groundwater. I think it gets from all those sources. It becomes an unspoken, unquestioned worldview assumption about how I am expected to, certainly the Christian tradition has the expectation that men are supposed to control women. I think that gets played out with Donald Trump feeling like he can control the women at his beauty pageants.
So when you were having your locker room talk about sex and women, were you feeling like you can control women?
That's a piece of what I'm expected to do.
No, were you feeling that way? That at the time when you were hanging out with your buddies, and you're like, man, I sure would like to do Sally Lou up. Wow, she's fine. Was that your desire to control women?
It's a piece that objectifies women and says, I want
no,
that, not as a person.
Right, but
I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in her and her physical form because of what I'd like to do to her physical form.
Right.
Yeah, I got that whole thing.
You were feeling like, at the time when you were having this conversation, you were thinking, wow, I would love to control that woman, or were you thinking, I would love to have sex with that woman?
In that place, those are so intimately connected, it would be hard to tease out.
Which one were you thinking?
To say I'd like to have sex with that woman is the same thing as saying I'd like to control that woman. I'd like to make this happen, not as another person. I'd like, because it's a very different thing to say, I would like a relationship to develop between the two of us where that would be the sort of thing that would feel natural, normal, and healthy.
That's not even reality.
But
what about when women say those things about men? Wow, he's so handsome and fine. I sure would like to rock his world.
Sure.
Are they saying that they want to control the man?
Because we're talking about a false equivalence, I think you're talking as if the man and the woman in that situation are on equal footing.
But so when women are saying those same exact things about men in the locker room, are they saying they want to control men? And is that sexism?
The disempowered group, whatever that group is, always has strategies, tactics, methods to try and either preserve their lives, preserve their jobs, try and get ahead, kind of work within the situation.
Give me a yes or no. When women are having locker room talk about men, how they want to get with them and rock their world and do that, are they saying they are trying to control, they want to control men?
I think
yes or no? I'm black and I'm slow, so you have to give me a yes or no. So are they saying that they want to control men?
I don't think so, not in the same way.
Really? And is that sexism?
I don't think women can be sexist.
Is that sexism, yes or no?
No.
That is mind-blowing. So when women do it, no problem. When men do it,
I didn't say it was
sexism.
wrong.
But you're not calling, why would you not be fair and balanced?
The difference in power in the social structures,
but
I think requires a different language.
These are women who are in power. They're in the locker room. and they're saying the exact same thing that men say. And you say, no, that's not sexism or the desire to control men?
I'm saying that the language that I use about women talking about men and the language I use about men talking about women ought to reflect the different power relationships within a male supremacist society.
That is so insane. Your language is deceiving. That is mind-blowing to me. That's not honest language.
I think I'm trying to use language responsibly, and that lays, you can use the passive voice. You can say a man hit a woman, or you could say domestic violence occurred. and domestic violence occurred is in the passive voice. It hides who is the perpetrator. And so I'm trying to use accountable language, and that's just one example. Why not just use
the truth? If it's domestic violence when men do it to women, it's domestic violence when women do it to men.
And I'm trying to, I understand it's a subtle distinction.
Why not just be honest about this thing rather than trying to make the woman a little nicer and make the man look like a bully?